Welcome to The Joy Bus Presents More Than a Meal. I'm Bruce St. James. I am a board member at the Joy Bus and the Joy Bus Diner. And joining me today, two other of our board members as we attempt to help you guys through these, dare I say, unique, unusual times and really get into how food can be medicine and how those of you out there with already compromised immune systems dealing with things like cancer can use food to really help you during these times. I'll start with Dr. Dan, another of our board members, and give me a little bit of your background, Dr. Dan. What does your world look like?
My world looks like we're still seeing patients here in Scottsdale, Arizona. We have offices both in Scottsdale and in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is northern Arizona, for those of you who don't reside here. And I've been a member of the Joy Bus board for several years now. And I really enjoy the health aspects of food and teaching people about not only the nutritional aspects, but the medical aspects as well. And as we get into it, we can talk about immunity and nutrients that are found in the food beyond just carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Thanks for having me.
I think that's important, Dr. Dan, because I know that food isn't always a normal part of a doctor's world, and that a lot of doctors don't know how to have that conversation with a patient about nutrition, what they're eating, dare I say, which aisle of the grocery store they're shopping down, and how that has a direct impact on their health.
Yes, I apologize for laughing, but my son was trying to make me laugh. And it's a great segue because one of the things that I do prescribe for my patients, I'm a naturopathic oncologist, so I have a practice entirely dedicated to the treatment of people with cancer. I actually prescribe laughter. I enjoy it myself, so I'm going to be lighthearted about it. And he succeeded in making me laugh, so there you go.
All right. Also, right now, if you can see her, is our founder, our matriarch, the person that started this all, Jennifer. Tell me a little bit. I'm going to let you tell your bio a little, as you are, I can tell, sitting in the Joy Bus Diner as we speak.
I am. Unfortunately, it's a bit empty right now, but my background is the food industry. I've been working in this industry since I was 14, from washing dishes to bartending to managing to waitressing to line cooking, anything you can think of. It was a natural segue, honestly, for me to be in this position today because of my life experience and work experience. This is where I'm supposed to be. But this exists because my friend Joy became ill with ovarian cancer. And when she became ill, I thought that the only way I could show her how much I cared for her was through food. So we started bringing her meals, and that just took off and inspired us to do it for people that didn't have that same support system. I was making the meals out of my home, and we were just growing so fast that we needed a real kitchen. So I proposed to my super amazing board, hey, let's get a commercial kitchen. And they said, hell no, you're crazy. We don't want a restaurant. But they came around because they're super awesome humans. And now we have this diner that normally is open to the public, and 100% of the proceeds fund our free programs for homebound cancer patients. It's really worked in the sense that it's created a community. I don't know how you organically pull that off, but somehow people have embraced what we're doing, and it's really a community. And so when we opened our doors to the public, roughly 5 years ago, we were doing about 12 to 15 home visits each week. And now we're upwards of 50. And the people that come in here get to be a part of something bigger than themselves, because they get to come in and order a Rubin and know that 100% of those proceeds fund our programs. So it's amazing what's happened. I don't know how it happened, but I feel super stoked that we're sitting here and it happened.
Well, and I can follow up on that the Joy Bus now not only nourishes the body of those people that are battling cancer right now, but we found that it also nourishes the soul, that our volunteers and the people that deliver the food for some of our patients are the only real contact they have. And they become friends and part of the support system. And I think that's awesome in and of itself. I want to get into a little bit, and we talked about food as medicine and really some, dare I say, healthy choices. And Jennifer, we're going to actually have you whip something up today. If that's the proper terminology, I certainly hope so. You know me, I do everything in a microwave. But we actually have a cookbook coming out soon, a Joy Bus cookbook that will be available for sale. And you're going to feature something in there. What are you going to do for us today?
Well, basically, I brought out these ingredients that are included in our citrus vinaigrette. It's vegan, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, all those frees, but it tastes rad. And you can put it on anything. You can put it on, like, marinate fish with it, or just dress a salad with it, which we do here in the diner. Which is another thing I wanted to bring up, which is super rad. Like, I have these menus here in our diner, and I don't know if you can see, but on here is our super rad board member, Dr. Dan. And so these are Dr. Dan approved meals. So you can come in the diner and have any one of these meals that he has approved to serve to people that have either immunocompromised or just want to be a healthy human. And our patients, while they're on our program, can come in here and eat any one of these meals for free.
Wow.
And so this dressing is actually on here. Oh, and it's in our top secret book here. So I can show you what
It says top secret on it.
Yeah. So there's the ingredients. Did you see? Okay, that's it. It's top secret. But super simple.
Skull and crossbones doesn't have to do with the ingredients. This has to do with
Fair enough.
if anybody touches it, correct?
But so it's very, very simple. All you need is a little bit of garlic. And Dr. Dan obviously knows a lot more than I do about why we should be eating these things. I'm just eating them because I think they taste good.
Well, and that's something, Jennifer, as we talk about the ingredients, I want Dr. Dan to jump in, and maybe you can highlight some of the specific benefits of these individual ingredients and help some of our viewers and some of our patients understand exactly why these are important.
Totally, that would be rad. So this one, I'm assuming Dr. Dan has some rad things to say about it, no?
Is that a full garlic clove you're holding, or a bulb? You know, I think one of the best things about garlic is that it's been shown to stimulate natural killer cell activity, which is important both in terms of virus immunity, antiviral immunity, and anti-cancer immunity, because natural killer cells, which many people who are listening to this have probably heard about or read about, natural killer cells are specifically designated to kill virus and cancer cells. And
Wow.
they do other things inside the body, but those are two of their main foci, and that's one main attribute of garlic. It also has a lot of sulfur in it. Sulfur is good for the immune system as well, because it actually, your body actually requires sulfur for it to receive the immune messages at the cellular level. So that's one very important message that the body needs. Sulfur is actually also really important when it comes to building connective tissue. And connective tissue in terms of people who are, a lot of people with cancer need to exercise, and they need to recover from that so they can continue to exercise. Also, building connective tissue is really, or having strong connective tissue is important when you're trying to resist the growth of an existing tumor inside your body. There's a lot of stuff garlic does besides just taste good.
Wow, and that gets into exactly, we talk about how food can be medicine, and I say, I don't think any of us are eating enough garlic.
Yeah, so then we go to my favorites. The recipe actually calls for jalapenos, but when I make it at home, I usually use serranos because they're spicier. Now, I know that chilies, supposedly, this is what I've read, will help boost your metabolism, speed it up a little bit. So I try to eat as many of these as possible. But it gives a little zing to the recipe. In addition to the chilies, we use oranges and we use lemons. We use raw almonds and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And honestly, that's the entire dressing. Dr. Dan, like on the chilies, like are huge health benefits to the chilies other than just trying to fit into my clothes?
Yeah, absolutely. They have some bacteriostatic properties, and they can help you resist infection. When it comes to the metabolism part, it's important because in some cancers, especially when people are surviving the cancers and resisting the recurrence of a cancer, metabolism is important because weight gain is not something that people desire. And there's certain medications that people are on long term, especially when people have estrogen receptor positive breast cancer, that may kind of help people gain weight or encourage them to gain weight. So they're fighting against that. And certain parameters of body composition, like what's called percent body fat, is actually, the higher that goes, the more of a risk factor it can become for some women who are surviving breast cancer for recurrence. And so boosting metabolism in that way could help reduce the recurrence rate.
Wow. Are there any specific benefits to the citrus? We have oranges and lemons in this as well. I see you nodding along, Dr. Rubin. Tell me about those.
Well, there's several. I'll be brief. Number one of the secrets of citrus is actually, if you peel the citrus, it is a good idea in general to keep some of that bready white part on the citrus. Most people try and get all of that off and just eat kind of the sweet part. But that citrus has pectin in it, and pectin has some nice anti-inflammatory properties in the body. So if some stays on there, try to keep it on there if you can tolerate it. It might be a little bitter for some people. In terms of the body of the fruit, or the fruit itself, there is a small amount of vitamin C in there. Most people really credit oranges with having vitamin C. I think that's more of a marketing thing than anything. Broccoli, strawberries, they have much more vitamin C than your typical orange is going to have. I think a typical orange might have between 50 or 60 milligrams of vitamin C nowadays. But there's something in those citrus fruits called bioflavonoids or flavonoids. A lot of times, if you purchase a bottle of vitamin C, you'll see that manufacturers include bioflavonoids in there. They're synergists. They help the immune system. They help connective tissue. They are really anti-inflammatory, and they have so many interactive functions in the body.
Wow. Of the other ingredients, I'm trying to look at everything Jen has in front of you there. Oh, is that almonds?
It was till I just threw it. these are raw almonds.
Raw almonds.
I was told were the healthiest of nuts. And again, obviously I'm no expert. I just like eating. So Dr. Dan, is this the nut I should be using?
Yeah, I think it's great because almonds, the use of almonds usually takes people away from peanuts and cashews, which can tend to be laden more with some naturally occurring fungi or funguses, if you will, which are sometimes hard for people to process through their liver. And especially if somebody's on chemotherapy or some other sort of toxic challenge, and we're going to want to reduce that. And if somebody's immune system is low, they may be a little bit more susceptible to that. There's something on them called aflatoxin. Almonds have nice fatty acids. They have some protein content. They have some micronutrition in them. I think almonds are great. I'm going to put a plug in here for walnuts as well.
Oh.
Really nice fatty acid profile, melatonin, some really nice nutrients in walnuts as well.
I think that what you're hearing is Dr. Dan reinforcing Jennifer's recipe there with the specific benefits of the different ingredients for those of you who may be dealing with cancer in your life. But it's obvious that these ingredients are beneficial to everyone, regardless of what you're going through, even for those of you that thankfully aren't dealing with cancer in your life right now. And that really gets into that whole food is medicine idea.
Yeah, and I know that the skin in this alone, and I just brought this because as soon as we get off air here, I'm just going to throw all this together and drench my tomato with it and eat it rather than use my lettuce and cut everything up and be fancy and sit down for a salad. So this is how I'm going to roll after we cut here. Tomatoes I know are amazingly good for you, but I don't know why.
I know a little bit about tomatoes. Yeah, they've had a lot of press for a lot of years. We're specifically interested in organic tomatoes. And one of the main components of a tomato, it's really brightly colored. It tastes good to a lot of people. Things that are brightly colored have a lot of these flavonoids or carotenoids. Most people know a carotenoid by the name beta carotene. Carotene is a type of carotenoid. There's alpha, gamma, delta, beta carotene. But I always tell people, think about things that if you cut them and then you rubbed them on a white shirt, they would stain your clothes. Those are really rich in some of these anti-cancer and immune and anti-inflammatory nutrients. One of the main ones in a tomato is called lycopene. Lycopene can actually help reduce a pro-cancer factor inside the body called insulin-like growth factor 1. There's a lot of research nowadays on insulin-like growth factor 1. There's some treatment modalities directed at it. I've been looking at this in people's blood and kind of fighting back against it for many years. And that's one of the main benefits of a tomato.
Well, we want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I know that the last thing we want is for these to be too long for people. So you've seen the ingredients. We're actually going to post how to the actual recipe that Jennifer has done for our citrus dressing. Again, that you can also use as a marinade for fish or chicken or whatnot. You've heard about the ingredients, the benefits specifically of these ingredients for those of our Joy Bus community that is dealing with cancer in their lives, and also for our Joy Bus community that supports us as a way to make healthier decisions for themselves. Guys, thank you so much for being with us today. Right? Dr. Dan repping for the Joy Bus. Look at that. Outstanding. Jennifer, thank you so much. And thank all of you for supporting the Joy Bus and the Joy Bus Diner in the work that we do. Keep your eye open. We'll be here with some more. The Joy Bus presents More Than a Meal. Keep your eyes focused on it. We'll be back and have more guests talking about food and food as medicine. Thank you.